remember the last time I had a butter horn. I used to go to a restaurant, me and my buddies, back in the 80s, 40 years ago, and we'd go to this pancake house, and because we were so poor, we'd just have coffee and a butter horn or something. At the most, sometimes my ex-wife, my fiance at that time, or possibly my wife, we'd do the same thing, just have a coffee and a butter horn. That's all we could afford. So, got a green drink today, melon and pineapple, I believe it is. Good old melon and pineapple. I got some shoutouts. Now, I know I'm a little bit late, but that can't be helped because my videos are all pre-recorded. Ellie Jackson had a birthday August 14th, and she turned 25, okay? Happy birthday, Ellie. I hope you had an amazing birthday, okay? Hope you had a wonderful time. Also, ASMR is Life and wife Gina are celebrating their 29th anniversary on August 12th. So, ASMR is Life and his wife Gina celebrated 29 years of marriage on August 12th. That's fantastic. Good for you, dude. Absolutely amazing. Good on you. And lovely 5704 is having a birthday August 28th, and her husband has a birthday September 28th. So, yeah, how about that? So, happy birthday, lovely, and an early happy birthday, a belated happy birthday to lovely, and early birthday to her husband, who has his birthday in September. So that's cool. That's great. So, and a big shout out to the rest of you as well. Yeah, it's peanut sauce. Fantastic. I love peanut sauce. So I just got the veggie wrap today. They never give you enough peanut sauce. I should start buying my own. The way I got it figured, this should cancel out that. Yeah, right. All kinds of things in here: carrot, avocado, of course lettuce and whatever. Very, very tasty. They taste very healthy. So I woke up this morning. At my age, it's always a good thing. I woke up and I was almost feeling sick because it was so smoky. We've had a couple of huge wildfires on the island. They got one under control. It's about a week old now. There's another one started up. It's about 3 times the size. It's just spreading like crazy because we've had a lot of wind, but the smoke is so thick it's almost enough to gag you. It's just awful. And the weather's been smoking hot lately. Smoking hot, like heat wave hot. But because of the smoke, it's making them overcast. So in the evenings, it's kind of cooled down a bit. But the air quality is terrible. Just terrible. sushi and the California rolls and the veggie rolls and everything else. Fascinating to watch. I'll put that over there. Don't want to block my lava lamp. A lot of people were evacuated over these fires. Some were able to return home from the first fire. I'm sure a lot of people know what I'm talking about. I remember, I think it was last year, or maybe it was a few years ago in California, had some really serious wildfires. Greece had one last year, they have another one now. You know, that peanut sauce is so delicious. I almost want to drink it. I don't know why they would just fill this thing up. Why don't you give you a little bit? Very delicious. This is so good. I still drink bubbly. Sometimes it's nice to have a break from the carbonated drinks. Linda and I went shopping at Costco last night, just before dinner. What a madhouse. Just crazy. Went to the self-checkout. Even that had a huge lineup. The good news is I got to have a Costco hot dog. I bought a pair of shoes. Bought a pair of Skechers. I already have a pair, but they're getting worn out. But these ones I bought are like a slip-on type thing. I love them already. They're fantastic. Put them on, took the dog for a walk last night. Wonderful. I love a shoe that fits and feels real good. And those shoes fit me perfectly. And they feel amazing when I'm wearing them. So I took this butter horn and heated up the mic just for 15 seconds or so. That is good. Got that lovely icing and the nuts on top of it there. Very fresh. But getting back to my shoes. I'm really hard on shoes. I tried to save a pair of shoes when they start to get old. I save those for what I call my dog walking shoes or my lawn cutting shoes. You know, when you cut the lawn and shoes get all stained and green and all that, kind of ruins them. So I try and save a pair just for dog walking or for lawn cutting. Somebody told me once that this woman at work, a lot of women there agreed with her. She says she really notices shoes, and when she meets a man, she always looks at his shoes. Well, I guess I can tell you something, but not sure what I would tell you. Because you could be a billionaire and still wear, an old worn out pair of sneakers because they're comfortable, right? Wouldn't be my excuse. This is so good. Really brings back a flood of memories. But I feel good when I'm wearing a decent pair of shoes. I always save some good shoes for when I go out and about. When I go to the dentist or the doctor, have an appointment, or I go out with friends, or go out to dinner with somebody like my kids or whoever. You want to look decent. And I know a nice pair of shoes does make a person look kind of nice, kind of dressed up. So sometimes I see somebody and I happen to notice their shoes are all kind of raggedy, you notice that. But I see somebody that got really nice shoes on that looks nice too. Now for the last few months, I've been wearing flip-flops. Sandals, I guess. I'm wearing my sandals because it's so hot out. this is good. The only thing I wish I had with this was a cup of coffee. Because when it comes to any kind of pastry or cake or pie or cookies or whatever, I prefer coffee to juice or anything. You know what I like to do? I haven't done that often. I haven't done it in a long time. I like to go out and have just coffee and dessert at a restaurant. It's kind of nice because, you know, a lot of times when I go to a restaurant, I have a meal. I'm just too full for dessert, right? I'm just eating too much. I'm just way too full. And even if I do want dessert, the dessert's always so big, you know, like, depending on what I have, sometimes I can have the carrot cake at this restaurant. I've had the apple pie and ice cream a few times, and the tiramisu and a few things, but I know sometimes they just bring you this great big thing. It's just, oh, you know, it's big enough for two people. Yeah, it's like you just don't, I don't want to eat that much right after. So it's nice to go to a restaurant when you're not real hungry, because if I'm real hungry, I want to eat a meal. But just when you feel like a dessert and coffee. And all those desserts are expensive anyway. This is so good. Then Noah says, in my previous life I must have been starving to death, because I'm always picking out the crumbs. I have a few pet peeves, my friends, but one of my pet peeves, one of my major pet peeves is wasting food. Don't like to waste food. You know, I did get another one of these. I'm tempted to eat it right now because it's so good, but it's just so filling. So I think I might save it. I'm sure they freeze well. Besides, I make them anyway, and they're really nice. Oh man, that's so good. That was really tasty. You know, it's funny. Part of me wants wants to have another one because they're so delicious. But that's just so much carbs all at once. And I know after 20 minutes, half hour, I'll be saying, yeah, I'm good. Glad I didn't have the other one, because if I did have the other one, I'd be too full and thinking, too much sugar, too much carbs. Just, The other night, a month ago, whenever, my son had his 40th birthday. And we were originally going to have a barbecue. Decided just to have pizza instead because it's easier. And we had a lot of other stuff too, you know, chips and stuff, and I bought a beautiful cake for dessert, Black Forest. But anyways, my daughter had a few pieces of pizza. We had 3 large pizzas, all very good. And after she finished her meal, she goes, "Oh, I'm really stuffed." I said, "Sure you want any more?" "Oh no, I'm full." So about maybe a half hour later, we decided to cut the cake, and I said, "Do you have room for a piece of cake?" She says, "Oh yeah, I have a separate stomach for cake." I think we're all kind of like that. We have a separate stomach when it comes to dessert. You know? I can't say the green one is my favorite flavor. Melon and pineapple, kind of a weird combination. Funny, when I was in Asia, we ate a lot of pineapple and watermelon there. It was nice. Really liked it. You know, they bring us melon before a meal or after a meal, or both before and after a meal. It was very good. I can't believe how quiet the building is today. Kind of makes me wonder, you know, it's like, you know, when it's this quiet, why are they not working, you know? They were jackhammering like crazy there. You know, ripping siding off the building and banging and pounding away. I guess I shouldn't look a gift horse in the mouth. But the way I look at it, you know, it's just, when it's too quiet, I keep thinking, why am I not hearing anything? Like, what could they be doing if they're not making any noise? You know, it doesn't sound like they're working, right? One thing I've noticed is on Fridays, they kind of knock off early, or maybe they spend a lot of time cleaning up. I will say one thing. Linda and I drove by last night, coming back from Costco. On our way home, we drove by the building here, because she hadn't seen it yet. I drove to the parking lot and all that. I just said they sure clean up real nice out themselves. I said, yeah, I noticed that too. Like they leave nothing lying around. The whole site is very clean, because it's like a total work site. They got a office, first aid station, you know, an outhouse and everything else, right? Scaffolding everywhere, so it's very interesting. But anyways, like I said, it's quite, you know, it's great for recording videos, nice and quiet. You know, it's couldn't ask for more. The only thing is, I never really know when it's going to be quiet, except for lunch. Usually from, you know, starting at 12, they take a half-hour break. Usually, maybe a little bit longer. You know, that's fine by me. I managed to record a 34-minute video the other day. It was great, you know. In between, hammering and cement, like that, you know. Just chiseling away, jackhammering, just, you know, between the jackhammering and the hammering and everything else. I managed to get it done, so that's good. But then what's funny, we also had a crew here today. I noticed when I drove in, there was the crew doing the landscaping, and the lawn cutting and leaf blowing. And of course, once the leaves start to fall, you'll hear the old leaf blowers out there. But they come, not sure how often they come out and keep track, but of course I'm not here all the time except when I'm recording videos. So, I'm not sure how often they come, but they keep the grounds very nice. And so they come in, they're here today and cleaning up the shrubs and whatever, cutting the lawn. So I was just hoping that they wouldn't be doing that over the lunch hour. And they've been very quiet. I heard the lawnmower going earlier. No, they've been really good. But then what's funny, or what's not funny, it's annoying actually, but it could be real quiet like this, but then there'll be some people in the hallway yammering away, you know, yak. What's her name down the hall there? Kathy. I call her Chatty Kathy. Lovely gal. Boy, she loves to talk. And now that she's retired, I know I mentioned this before, but now that she's retired, you know, she's got more time on her hands to talk to everybody, and she's lonely, but she's a lovely gal. She's widowed, but she knows everyone's business, and she knows what's going on, and She loves to talk, so she'll be out in the hallway just yammering away with somebody. And there's also like there's a laundry room down the hall too. And sometimes leave the door open there. They're talking there. It's kind of echoey, and the Yeti just picks up everything, right? So it's like I said, be really quiet outside, but then noisy in the hallway. Well, I think I'll probably avoid the green one from here on in because it's not really my favorite flavor. I thought it'd be more like a lime thing. I mean, that's what you think, right? But whatever. It was still very good. Still lovely. This summer has just been smoking hot. Unfortunately, it's been very dry. Now we're supposed to get some rain starting tonight. I cut the lawn first thing this morning. I cut the front lawn. The front lawn is actually still green. The back lawns, we have two at the back. I think you've seen them, the yard. It's very brown. The only green is the dandelions. We've got no shortage of those. But we got the front fairly nice and green. We started keeping it green last year because my daughter got married. And she had her wedding pictures taken in the front yard by the fish pond. There's some nice benches there. And so we started keeping it green and we were so happy with it. And there's really nothing to it. But you see, we also have a lot of water restrictions, so you're not allowed to water that much. You only hand hold your watering. You can't use your sprinklers and all that. And only on certain days, and I'm on board with that. We all are. We totally understand. You can't be washing your cars out, but you've seen Linda's garden. If you've seen the home and garden tour video that I did, you know what her garden looks like. Just, man, it's just ongoing, non-stop watering. So anyways, the front lawn's looking pretty green, so I went out and cut it because it's supposed to rain a little bit today, starting tonight, and then we're supposed to get a couple days of rain, which would be great for those wildfires, because that one is just out of control. It's over, the last I heard, it was more than 1,400 hectares. You Google that, that's a lot, that's huge, and with that wind, it was just going like crazy. They say, it's burning like a wildfire. They don't call it a wildfire for nothing. But the smoke is just, like I said, I woke up feeling sick. Just horrible. But also, what was I going to mention? The rabbits. The rabbits are just out of control too. The tool shed at the back, they've been going underneath there. What they've been doing is for the last couple of years, they have their litters underneath there. So we blocked it off the best we could, put down some landscaping ties and rocks and our logs that we burn in the wintertime and, stuff like that. Put them all around there so they'd stop digging, but of course sometimes they'll bury right underneath that, so we got chicken wire around there. So we pretty much figured we got it stopped, but then we went out, we saw these holes out there. We thought, well, that's kind of weird. I mean, like seriously. I can hear some talking. Can you hear that? So anyways, we went and filled them in, and Linda noticed that when she went out there first thing in the morning to look at it, there was no holes. She lets Marcy off her pee, goes out a couple minutes later, and there's a hole there. So we figured out it was Marcy that was doing it. Marcy the dog, for you newcomers. Marcy was trying to get underneath there. So, a couple months ago, we got this trap for catching fair-sized rodents, and we caught one rabbit, and we took it down to the park and turned it loose down there. Came back, so we had the trap set up again. So far, I haven't caught anything. Either the rabbits are getting smarter, or they just don't like that. That wilted brown lettuce we put in there is bait. But, anyways, so we're just kind of, we'll never be able to do anything about the rabbits. The rabbits per se don't bother me. But they would just eat the dandelions. I'd hire them, But, they like to eat everything else too, so we have to have our chicken wire around our garden and all that. But what's unfortunate is they poop in the yard. Marcy eats their poop. It's just, I mean, she's a well-fed dog. Are you kidding me? You know, like, why? But anyways, and we think that's how she got sick last year, was somebody had poisoned some rabbits and Marcy ate their poop and got sick from the poison. That's our theory, and I think it's a pretty good theory, but anyway, I know sometimes I kind of repeat myself, but I just kind of get off on a tangent here, start talking and yakking in a way, but anyways, so the whole rabbit thing is just, you know, what are you going to do? They're cute as all heck, you know, I love the little buggers, they're cute to look at, man. Who can resist a little bunny face? I gotta tell you what I saw the other day. I'm walking Marcy, we're just coming back, we're like walking down our street, 100 feet from our driveway, and I see the tiniest little garter snake, about that long. He's going like this across the road, and the pavement's quite hot. And I thought, he's trying to get across the road, and I thought if he does that, he's very vulnerable, right? You know, a bird could fly down, a car could come along, some kid on a bike, you know. I mean, he could make it, but, you know, I just thought, you know, I'd rather see him, you know, I'd rather up his chances of survival. So I got my feet together and kind of shoosed him back like this, and he turned around, started going back to the grass. Once he got to the grass, he was like, boy, he just took off. So I guess the pavement was kind of hard for him to kind of slither on. It's probably kind of hot. But once he got into the grass, boy, he took off like a rocket. But I swear he was no more than about 5 inches. Cutest little goober you ever saw, you know. So I like to give all little animals a fighting chance, you know. I mean, why not? And I think I mentioned this before too. I'm pretty amazed at how many snakes I've seen this year, because in the past I might see one, you know, or sometimes go years without seeing any, you know. It's kind of alarming when you don't see. It's like when things disappear, like the starfish, you know, hardly ever see starfish anymore. And I understand they figure it's related to some kind of a virus or something. I saw something on TV about that. Something similar to cholera, something. I could be off my rocker here, but it was something like that. But anyways, you know, it's interesting. I'd like to see the starfish come back. For a while, the bees were kind of disappearing. We got swags of bees, you know, pollinating, doing their thing. That's always nice to see. And Linda's got the garden fort where it attracts all the bees, so it's great. Okay, well, you know what? I can't believe how quiet it is. It's absolutely fantastic. Yes. So, my friends, I have to tell you, if you want a shout out, please, especially for a birthday wish, please, please, please give me some notice. I think it's going to be up to about 3 weeks notice now, okay? Because I have to record my videos ahead of time because of all the racket that goes on out there some days. Quite often I'll record 2 videos in one day, because I have to just kind of stay ahead of the game here, because I never know. I mean, like some days I don't get over here for, you know, 3 or 4 days, because, you know, this thing called life gets in the way. So I can't always be to record videos when I want, so I have to kind of do them when I can. So the more notice you give me, especially for birthdays, if you just want a shout out, that's fine, you'll get it when you do. But if you want a birthday wish or anniversary wish on or around your birthday, please give me some notice. But in the meantime, you stay amazing out there in the land of awesome, okay? Awesome possum, okay? And if you are like a possum, that means you're probably sleeping or playing dead, okay? So we'll see you next time, okay? Look after yourselves, look after each other, stay amazing, and we'll see you next time, okay?